Bam, 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 bam. We're back with another episode of BAM. Happy Friday, EXP. Happy Friday, entire real estate industry, because we know not only EXP agents are checking this out, and that's okay. You're welcome here. You're welcome to check this out. So today we will be pontificating the litigation and subsequent ramifications of the recent NAR settlement and impact on the industry. Not at all. That's not what we're talking about. I know there's enough. There's too much already going on around that. My gosh, I'm Tony King. I'm Vice President of U.S. Growth. The last time that I was here was before the 17th, before the world fell, August 17th. Woo, right? It was spooky. But what did we talk about when I was here last time? We talked about there's going to be an 18th and a 19th and the 20th. And now we're all the way at August 30th. And guess what? You're still in business and we still got a job to do, right? What hasn't changed? Like Leo said, our fabulous CEO said this from the very beginning, from the onset, and shout out to the whole team that's been giving all these great information and updates. But man, what hasn't changed is the fact that there's still going to be millions and millions and millions of people that need to buy, need to sell, and they need help in order to do so. How you get paid, what paperwork you use, our team's going to help you through that stuff. But what hasn't changed is the fact that we still have a job to do. We still have to serve. We still get to do this. We still get to serve people looking to buy and sell and invest in real estate. So I'm here. I'm happy to talk about that. But I will tell you one thing that has changed. I'm here taking Russ Lagan's place as Russ is out saving the world one brokerage at a time, one team at a time. He tapped me on the shoulder and asked me to fill in for him. And I was obliged to do so. Super happy to do so, because one thing that has changed is my calendar, Russ's calendar, Frank's calendar, our calendars at EXP on the growth team have been blowing up out of control, out of proportion. It's been ridiculous because of these changes, because there is fear in the marketplace, because there's uncertainty, and people make moves in uncertainty when things start looking shaky. Yesterday, I was on, I think, 6 calls with big brokerages, a lot of them that you would know. I was on 6 calls with mega teams, large brokerages. I think today I've got 4 or 5 calls with large teams, large brokerages, back to back to back. Why? They're beating the door down. They're beating the door down to get into EXP. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today and sort of what our growth strategy looks like going forward. But I will tell you right now, if you have not been focused on your agent attraction efforts, this is the time to do so. This is the time to turn that up, because there's fear, there's uncertainty in the marketplace, and the untouchable people that you thought were always happy and they love where they're at right now, I guarantee they're loose in the saddle, because I'm talking to them. I'm on the calls with them all day long, and they're begging to get into EXP. So that said, share the story and what I've got coming up. My gosh, I have 2 of our incredible growth team members that we're going to be talking to in just a bit. We got Matt. I call him Mat, mainly because I can't pronounce his last name. Also, I got Lisa Kane. She's another incredible growth director. She's going to be joining us as well, talking about her strategy. And then y'all know we have been Bryon Ellington, as well as Smita Singh. She is going to be sharing some great information for us. So before we get into that stuff, actually, let's go ahead and jump in, right? Let's bring up Matt. Let's bring up Lisa. Mat. Lisa, where y'all at? Come on up. How you doing?
Hey. What up, agents?
What
Hi,
up, Matt and Tat
everybody.
Tat? So, introduce. Let's start with you, Matt. Let's have you
Sure.
introduce yourself. Now that we know that you've had some practice, some of our alphas and betas and leaders that were on a call yesterday got to see you sort of introduce yourself and go through that growth process. So, let's hear it, Matt. Give us your story. Tell us a little bit
Well,
about yourself, and then we'll talk about the growth plan that you have in place. Because my gosh, I got to look at it. Russ shared it with me, and it blew my mind. Go.
so in lieu of the story that I got to have with Renee Rodriguez yesterday on our leaders call, which was phenomenal. Thank you again, Leo, for that opportunity. I'm Mat Lewczenko. I've been in the industry now for 14 years. I'm here in the Midwest. I live in Kansas City, on the Kansas side. Go Chiefs! Ready for a three-peat here this season.
Be careful. Be
And
careful.
I've been a student of growth. I've been a student of learning for forever. I've been in leadership and have had the privilege of coaching, training, and speaking all across the country. And the growth plan that Russ and I are working on is kind of an extension of some of the plays that we've already been running here locally. And now we have the opportunity to take that throughout the region and just continue to be an extension of the value proposition that Glenn and eXp has put together, which I am absolutely thrilled to do.
I love it. I love it. We'll get into some of the details on that because I want to hear. Lisa Kane.
Good morning. Hi, everybody. My name is Lisa Kane. I'm originally from Newport Beach, California. I've lived in the Raleigh, North Carolina area for the last 14 years. I am a wife and a mom of 4 kids. But a little about me, in 2011, I lost a son, a little baby son. And, that experience, I bring it up because I think it really is me. And if you know me for even 5 minutes, you're probably going to know about it because it's really the core of who I am. Because that experience, it just really rocked me to the core, and it made me have to learn sort of what am I about? What is life about, right? And I had to start just kind of learning to live again. And when I did, I learned that it's really important to embrace every day. I live super, super intentionally. From my experience of loss, I founded a nonprofit called Covered in Love, which helps other moms who've experienced loss find hope and healing. And we started locally and gone to 30 states and 5 countries over time. But one of the greatest lessons in all of that, and what really relates to growth, is that, even prior to my loss, I was always a lifelong learner. And, I feel that life is this constant evolution. We're always learning and we're always growing. But to me, after that, I learned that it's more important, like, even not just me just being a lifelong learner, but I want to share that passion for learning and growing with others. And so I'm deeply passionate about helping others discover their passions and their niches. And it's just really fulfilling to watch other lives changed. And I know it's, my son's hand in all of it, which is even more special. And so I'm really super excited about this regional growth position. And because I've been at eXp for 8 years, eXp is an amazing company. We're a community here, right? We're supportive, we're collaborative. It's like nowhere else. I've been in the real estate industry almost 27 years, and there's really no comparison. There's not even anything that comes close to the experience here. But at eXp, we have an opportunity to surround ourselves with like-minded people, motivated, dedicated, people that want to make a difference, right? So it's a place where we can learn and grow. And I'm excited to be here to hopefully help everybody continue to learn, and let's grow.
I love it. I love it. Let's grow. That's the perfect segue. So as we talk about growth, we talk about sort of what the plan is. I know what I'm seeing sort of in my region, but I'm curious to see, you, Matt, first, come to you first.
Yeah.
Man, you were one of the first ones that, when we were looking at these sort of growth roles, you were already in the process of onboarding, and we can't probably say who, but, you're on the process of onboarding like a 50 agent brokerage that's soon to be a 90 agent brokerage, like already in the process of making that stuff happen. And you've been doing it. You've been sort of doing the work already before you became on staff. So tell me a little bit about that journey and sort of where you see the honey holes for the Midwest region. First off, what states do we define as Midwest? And then where's the opportunity lie for agents that are in that region?
Yeah. So the states that I get to cover are Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. the biggest opportunity that we have, and the opportunities that I was presented with, all stem back from prior relationships that I've had through events and speaking and training that I've done in the field. One of the biggest opportunities that we should really be leaning into is that all top performers, all top producers, and agencies and brokerages, they're all seeking community and connection. Right. At some point, agents that are at a certain level of production begin to start feeling like they're on an island, isolated and alone. And so creating opportunities and environments where we can bring in like-minded and high producing agents together to really lean into that collaborative environment, and then create opportunity through those growth conversations. That's when there's enough trust and rapport built up where the agents that are really needing more begin to lean in and start asking questions. And so my growth opportunity has stemmed from attraction. It's not a cold calling. It's not just banging, the calls and going through rosters and lists. And it's not a mass email or a mass text campaign. It's one-to-one, it's belly to belly. And we have an opportunity now to take a little bit more of an offensive position and start leaning into the producers and the influencers that we have in our regions, connecting with them and start and working and building and growing through them, and asking, hey, what are the relationships that you currently have in place? How can we strengthen those relationships and now start creating these environments for collaboration and connection to create communities in all of our markets where we might be underrepresented and or where they're kind of overrepresented in the independent or the certain traditional models that are really, really struggling right now. Because there's a lot of agents that are hurting. There's a lot of brokerages that are hurting, that don't know, that haven't truly studied the opportunity. Because that was me. I had blindly taken a lot of narrative from leadership without really looking into it. And the thing that happened, and we hear it all the time. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Right. And the number one question that someone asked me was this: have you actually sat and studied it? Or did you just hear about it? And if I was being truly truthful, I hadn't studied it. And so someone took the time to really peel it back, open the curtain and show me. And I said, oh no, I now have to make a move. I have to make a move. Right. So I love it. So that's what I'm most excited about.
No, I love it. And, one of the things I do some agent attraction trainings and things like that when folks ask me to come in, and I sort of look at it in those two capacities, right? You got an indirect sort of modality and a direct modality. The direct modality is like the cold calling, like, hey, it's a numbers game, just bang them out, right, for a strategy. But the other side is, and this is what I recommend, right? You can do either, but I recommend sort of that relationship based, that indirect, like, hey, we don't even have to talk about EXP. Let's get belly to belly. Let's have some coffee, someone that you know or that you can get to know at an association event or wherever, but you're not talking about EXP. You're just talking about them, talking about their business, saying, hey, what's up? And eventually they will ask you. And when they ask you, you simply share that resource. So I love that strategy. I love that. You're just being there, being that connection, and then providing value when asked. So I love that. And that is true attraction, right? Not recruiting, it's attraction. You can do either, right? We're not going to knock you, but most folks will see a lot more success with that attraction, which is, where you got to be where you are. Lisa Kane.
Hey there.
North Carolina, yeah. South Carolina. Tell us what are the opportunities that exist there, and sort of what's your plan?
Yeah, so I'm a lot piggybacking on Matt, right? Because obviously, coming from the same sort of lens in this. But yeah, for me, I'm very relational. It has to be organic. That's how I operate best. So everything's going to come from sort of a place of that authenticity, right? We're a virtual world, but to me, it's important that we humanize that experience. And so I've already kind of started in the Carolinas to roll out ways that, to Matt's point, collaboration sessions. And I had one in Raleigh first Friday in August, and got about 40 agents together and talked about that was what we were right before August 17th. So we all know there's some hot topics there, right? So had the managing broker, managing broker Colleen Reinders there with me. So kind of hit it from both sides, and let the agents come and share what was on their mind and how they're feeling. And, talked about use those opportunities. I think, like Matt said, use these opportunities with these changes in NAR and with, people feeling uncomfortable or having to get out of their comfort zone to really share, hey, like what is happening like out there. I promise you, agents and other brokerages. I mean, eXp has been phenomenal, right? We have been
100%.
so ahead of this. We have rolled out so much support and my goodness, the resources and the narrative and all that. So, I mean, this is an opportunity, and that's what I share with agents. This is an opportunity to really share what our brokerage has done, right? And through that sharing, bring them value, because I'm very big on, not just asking someone to do something, but first bringing them value. So that's already taken place. And another approach for me, is, obviously back to my story, community involvement, giving back is really big. I love I Heart eXp Day, amazing day of service, right? But what I'm looking at in the Carolinas right now is coming up with a plan that we can be serving more than just one day. What are some other needs in our community, right? Getting out there, being active in the communities where we work and live, and would love to have, obviously it's going to be open to eXp agents, but open it up to agents outside of eXp as well. So to Matt's point, and maybe some of the narrative that he'd heard over the years, right? I've been at eXp 8 years. I know that a lot of the narrative out there isn't ours. And it's what other people say. They create our truth, which isn't a truth. And so I'm really hopeful in my area that by being out there, being an integral part of the community, hopefully some of these volunteer opportunities, get eXp's name out there in a good way, but also be able to share our story just really, again, organically by serving together, being together, and, hey, how's your brokerage going? Or, what are you doing? Just things like that. That's really important. And also another thing for me is, on top of the collaboration sessions with agents throughout the Carolinas, do the same thing with the team leads, right? Get together all different types of teams with those team leads and help them strategize. And from that first meeting in Raleigh, I had 4 or 5 agents reach out to me individually and say, hey, we'd love to meet with you and see how you can help me grow.
I love that. So if I can sort of put a top level on all that, it sounds like your strategy is in real life events, right? So much as possible. And I think that is something that a lot of times we do hear that's missing, quote unquote, about eXp. It's happening, but maybe we haven't been doing the greatest job of broadcasting all of the in real life events and connection points. And again, it's about that relationship, creating culture, creating community wherein agents can feel comfortable. So I absolutely love that. I have no doubt that strategy is going to, it's interesting because I was at our quarterly business review. I guess this was like 3 weeks ago or something. They all run together after a while, but I was there, I think 3 weeks ago with Glenn and Leo and the rest of the leadership team. And Glenn said something that was really profound. And we're looking at how do we systemize the growth of eXp, right? Obviously, our model is dependent on our agents to actually go out and tell the story, which can make it challenging because a lot of times it ends up being, reactive. We're waiting for agents to pull us in, which, by the way, that's what our job is for, right? Pull us into these conversations. When you meet a influencer or a large team or a brokerage, you can just reach out to us on work chat. You can also go to your My eXp app. You'll see a little tile there that says, hey, do you have a team or brokerage you want to bring to eXp? We can help. Click here, and you click that button, and it'll start you on the process of getting a hold of one of us in whichever region you're in, and we'll help you. But one of the things that Glenn mentioned was that these sort of 5 strategies that he's looked at, all of the different attractors, all the betas, all the big time attractors. And really there's 5 sort of models. One is production, right? Attraction through production, which, Matt has already kind of talked about. And I know Russ is big on too, right? So that attraction through production. Events, right, is number 2, which, Lisa's just mentioning as well. Obviously, Brant and others do out there. They do an incredible job, Gene, with events. So that's another one. The coaching model, which I know Matt does some of that too. We have some folks that do coaching. That can be another sort of attraction model. Social media. We have people that are crushing it in social media. And then we have the flat out recruiter model, right, which is the other one, which is like the cold calling, like beat the phones and into submission, right? So those are sort of the five platforms. And I love the fact that we have different growth directors and different growth team members with these different strengths that can help you. And so, by the way, no matter where you're at in the country, if you're trying to put on an event, if you want like, hey, how do I get into this thing? Get a hold of Lisa, get a hold of Matt. Where do they reach you?
first and foremost, workplace, right? That's always the easiest, and that I am happy to share a cell phone. I don't know if we can put it in a chat, but welcome to
I
reach out to
wouldn't do
me
it
that
if I
way
were
as
you. But hey, listen, dude, I won't stop you.
well. I know, right? You're like, careful. No, but I do want everyone to know in that point that I'm here for you, right? That I do want you to reach out, and I do want to help you, and I do love, again, watching others, thrive and grow, and we're here to not just survive, but we're gonna thrive. We're gonna thrive.
I love it. I love it. Again, if you want to reach us, again, hit us on work chat. Also,
Workplace.
you can go right to a workplace chat. And then also you can go to your My EXP app, click on that tile, let us know you have a team or a large brokerage or even a major influencer that you think we need to be on the call with. If they've got a huge social media following or whatever it is, we can help you. We can talk boost, we can talk thrive, we can talk incentives, we can talk cap deferments, we can talk different things that we can't even say out loud. We can talk about all these cool things and options that we have. So get us on the call. We're here to help in any kind of capacity that we can. If you're putting on an event, whatever it is, we're happy to help any way we can. So thank you so much, Matt. Thank you, Lisa. My gosh,
Thank
I'm so excited
you.
about the future of this
Bye.
company.
No problem.
It's incredible.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye,
bye.
everyone.
Now, coming up, yes, winning clients. We got the one, the only Mr. Bryon Ellington. He's going to talk about University Spotlight. Bryon, how you doing, man? Happy Friday.
Hey, good morning, my friend. How are you?
I am outstanding.
Yeah, awesome. I love what you said about the whole NAR settlement thing.
I didn't say anything about it, and I refuse to.
Hey, well, because everybody expected the sky to fall, and well, it's still up there.
The next morning, it's still there. It's amazing.
Well, let me be fair. For our agents, the sky's still up there. There's a lot of folks still kind of scrambling around trying to figure things out. And there's a lot of people who were still in doubt about how to get a buyer rep agreement because they haven't plugged into, I know, shameless self-plug, training, education, getting out there. Susie Kassem, she said, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. And there's a lot of agents who are doubtful about getting what they deserve in terms of their commission on the buyer side of things. That's why, by the way, and I think Randy's going to drop it into the chat here for you. If you've not yet checked out Winning Buyers, which is the eXp University training program, and also to the buyer toolkit that our amazing brokerage ops and marketing team put together for our agents, get into that. I mean, really digest that, really understand it, and really get after this whole thing, because I'm starting to hear people knocking their commissions way down than what they should or would have otherwise be charging. And it's because they just don't have that confidence. They don't have that confidence, and they're not reaching out for the buyer rep agreement and things of that nature. So plug into that. I wanted to share too that team leaders, speaking of buyer value proposition, we got something for you coming up. So we do our monthly team mastery call. It's the third Wednesday of every month. So this month it's going to be September 18th. We've got our friends Chris Craddock and David Mount from the Redux Group are going to join us, and we're going to be talking about buyer value propositions for teams, so that we can get in there and really help the teams develop their buyer value propositions with all their buyer specialists and really come with some really cool things. They're talking about tiered packages for the buyer side and all. So that'll be really cool. Also, too, we did a great masterclass yesterday. I hope it was great. We did one on building your business fast. If you have not yet checked out the the eXp Executive Masterclass series, we started this a few weeks ago. Here's a cool thing. All of the eXp executives are agents. Leo, Glenn, myself, Holly, you, all of us have been agents in our careers, and so we get it. And so we are doing a weekly series where a different eXp executive comes on every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and you can go watch it on our YouTube channel. It's out there. Hey, look at that. You can go watch it on our YouTube channel every Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. We do a different topic, whatever the executive is passionate about and a master of. Holly obviously is a master of all of this. So she's going to be talking about empowering sellers and helping you with navigating this whole NAR settlement, and also helping your sellers in their negotiations and pricing strategies. And that's an amazing series. Holly did one a couple of weeks ago on buyers. Kendall did one last week on online lead conversion. I did yesterday's on building a powerful business fast, and we'll continue to do that. Upcoming is Leo talking about DISC. Glenn Sanford's got this cool mind map for your business in terms of business strategy and things like that. So check that out. And one last thing, FastCap. So if you've not heard about this program, we piloted it this past summer. Hey, look at that. So the agents in our pilot, for 109 of them that were reporting to us, because we give them CSU during the program, during the 6 weeks, these agents on average did 5.4 buyer and listing appointments and 1.9 buyer and listing agreements each. The people who reported 5.4 appointments, 1.9 agreements. I don't know what your last 6 weeks look like, but if it didn't look like that, starting on Wednesday next week, September 4th, we're going to kick off the next round. We'll do our kickoff next Wednesday. Then the following Monday, we start the 6 weeks. You do need to come to the kickoff, right? You have to come to the kickoff. Otherwise, you will be lost. But do join us. We have a few seats left. And I do mean a few seats. And we are closing reg today. So get after it. And I hope to see you there next Wednesday. All right. I am really excited.
So this whole time, you've been dropping these Bryon bombs, as you know, I call them Bryon bombs, because you just like you drop a bomb and then you just keep going, like you didn't actually just say something profound. But I like to stop and highlight on those things. So my gosh, y'all, the team's masterminds, right? I can tell you again, I'm on the calls like all day long from like 8 a.m., not even 8, like 7 a.m. on the East Coast to like 7 p.m. on the West Coast, which is crazy. But that's okay. I love this. I love what I do. That said, these are closing points, by the way. Like I've literally been on calls where the programs that Bryon is putting out is the difference maker. It is the decision maker for a team or a brokerage to come to eXp, right? One of them, before I even get to, like FastCap is a whole thing, but beyond that, like even just the team training, right? Those team masterminds or those team environments. No other brokerage is pouring into their teams on how to be profitable, effective, and efficient teams and running their teams like a business. There's no other brokerage that's doing that. So when I'm on a call with a team or a brokerage and I tell them, hey, listen, we're going to show you how to build this thing profitably from ground zero up to where you're at, or we're going to teach you how to fix where you're at and make it profitable and then grow it and scale it and grow across the country or internationally. If you're a Zillow Flex team, they put you with other Zillow Flex teams that are crushing it. If you're a small team, we put you with small teams. If you're a huge 50+ team, we put you with other 50+ teams, and you mastermind about the unique problems that you're facing because some of the bosses you've already beat on level 1, level 2, level 3. Now you're on level 4, right? And you got to beat that level 4 boss. You don't need someone teaching you how to build a level 1, kill a level 1 boss. You need a level 5 boss or a level 6 boss to tell you. So anyways, you get the point. That team thing is incredible. FastCap, it's an easy sell, right? When you go to a team leader, and we spoke about this the other day, I'm talking to a team right now in Texas. They've got like 50, 60 agents. And whenever you ask them, okay, how many of those agents are productive, right? How many of those agents would cap or cappers? That's when the uhs and the ahs and the, well, you see what had happened was, what happened? So, and that number gets a lot shorter because they beat their chest. Like, I got 70 agents. Okay, well, how many of them are selling houses? Let's see. Well, it's 10 or less. So when I ask the question, well, I'll tell you what if we can get those other 40 agents that you've got into production, and I've got success and I've got a track record of success of taking these agents that have done 0 and getting them 3 deals, getting them 5 deals, getting them to cap. That's guaranteed income, right, in their account, and they can do the math on that day one. If you're at 25%, you make 25% of those first 3 deals. This is what your next year would look like at eXp. So my gosh, if you're not taking advantage of this stuff, that's incredible. Also, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever could. That was a bomb, man. You could have stopped right there. You could have just said that and went on about your day, man.
I love it. It stopped me in my tracks when I heard that one. I was like, yeah,
but you just kept rolling, man. You just kept talking about other stuff. Like, you got to let that stuff breathe, Bryon. These Bryon bombs, let them breathe.
I'll take a pause.
I love it. All right, what do we got next?
My friend Smita Singh from Houston, Texas is going to join us. We're going to talk about open houses, and I guarantee you're going to want to get your pen handy because this is going to be good. So Smita, are you there? Hey, how are you doing? All right. Tony, thank you so much for letting me come play with Smita. We'll be back to you in just a little bit, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm loving that Bryon bombs. I'm totally going to use it, Tony. Thank you.
It's going to be my next tattoo. That's awesome. So how are you doing, friend?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
All right. And so you're there in Sugarland, which is a suburb of Houston, right?
Yes.
The greater Houston area, which is where your team serves. You want to share just a little bit quickly about you and your team?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm part of the Seth Brothers team, and we have about 30 agents on our team. We're a mega icon team, and I've been doing real estate for about 5.5 years in EXP with the team. So this is where I live and breathe every day. And yeah, it's been fantastic. I've learned everything here about real estate. And this is where our team leads, Kunal and Sonnet. And that's who I pretty much learned everything from. And now I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm ready to fly. Let's do this.
That's awesome. And one thing I should share, because I see it in your title there, we got to hang out last week at the Women's Impact Network, and you are one of our board of directors. Congratulations. And
Thank
we're so
you.
glad to have you on that. If you're not involved with that, get involved with that. At eXpCon, we're going to be doing a little gathering for WIN on Wednesday afternoon. So make sure that you check that out. So open houses. This, depending upon how you feel about open houses, they are either amazing or they are an inconvenience that my seller makes me do. And if you're in the latter group, no offense, but I'd suggest maybe you're not doing it as powerfully as you could. And so Smita and I were having a great conversation. And so I wanted to bring forward some of the great ideas. And I'm not kidding when I say get your pens handy, because we're going to be giving you scripts, we're giving you strategies and things of that nature. So let's start with why are open houses even important? And you'd shared, even more important now. What did you mean by that?
Absolutely. So I'll tell you background. When I first started, I was like, okay, what are these open houses? Let me figure this out. My book of business, I built entirely on open houses. It is I will give all credit to open houses. I truly believe that if you haven't been doing it, this is the time to get into it and get started. It is a completely different landscape at the moment. And I truly think that open houses are going to be number one, where you have both opportunities. If you're a listing agent, there are going to be people that are walking in are wanting to do business directly with you. So that was not very possible earlier. And then the other reason is all these buyers, motivated, ready to go buyers, are going to come into your open houses. And this is your opportunity to convert them, because this is where you're standing with them, having conversations, and able to demonstrate your value. So I think right now, this is the most important lead generation pillar that you need to be working on in your business.
Yeah, and you had shared about this idea that buyers who maybe don't want to sign that BRA yet with another agent, this is going to be an avenue where they're able to kind of get out there, see some of the homes, and sort of circumvent, if you will, that need to sign a buyer rep agreement right away. I bet there's a lot of agents right now who are thinking, well, I don't have any listings in inventory. And so maybe I should just start playing Wordle until Nora comes on and talks about eXpCon. But hold on a second, because you do open houses pretty darn regularly, like almost every weekend, but not all of them are yours.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, in my first few years, I would do it every weekend. And yes, not all of them are mine, but I think that is really the beauty of eXp, because there are so many agents in your area that are in eXp. They have listings that they're not going to be able to do every weekend. Maybe they are doing it every weekend. They do it from a certain timeline, and you can pick another slot. And I'm telling you, there are so many times when I myself had listings and eXp agents will call me and say, hey, Smita, do you mind if we can do an open house on your listing? And I'm more than happy for them to do it, because I'm a listing agent. I'd like to get as much exposure on the home as I can. And if somebody is saying, hey, you know what, I'll do it on this day, and that's my day with my family, and I'm not able to do it, great, here you go. So it's so important. And at eXp, we're all about collaboration. And if we're not taking advantage of that, I think you're really missing out. So it's okay if you don't have listings. That's totally fine. What you need to do is scope out all the other eXp agents first in your area. Start making those phone calls and start getting those open houses for the weekends. And also, I'll tell you, just yesterday for one of my listings, somebody that is not an eXp reached out to me. So do that as well. It's okay. I think at the end of the day, if people are not doing open houses, they would like somebody to do it for them. And also that they're able to present themselves in a much better fashion for their clients as well. So I truly believe that this is a time for collaboration. And you can absolutely, if you don't have listings, pick up the phone and get open houses from other agents.
That's right. And do you mind sharing your script? What do you say to those other agents when you call them?
Absolutely. So the first thing is, so it's a little bit different when it's an eXp agent versus not an eXp agent, but pretty much like I'll call them and I'll say, hey, Bryon, this is Smita. And if I have a relationship with them, it's a little bit different, but I'll just assume that you don't know them. So I'll just say, hey, Bryon, this is Smita. And I see that you have a listing coming up or on the market at this particular ABC address. And I would love to do an open house for you. I see that you don't have any open houses scheduled for this weekend. I'd love to do the open house for you and showcase the home. Let me know if it is available on Saturday from 3 to 5, pretty much.
And when you and I were talking, you even shared that if they're holding it open from 2 to 5, you'll ask if they don't mind if you hold it open from 11 to 2 or whatever.
100%, especially if it's a vacant home, why not, right? If they're doing it from 3 to 5, and if you want to go and say, hey, can I do it from 12 to 2? Most of them will go say yes to you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And by the way, if you're not involved in your local area with your other eXp agents, I know here in Austin, we have Miss Elizabeth Riley who puts on the AHA Club. I know there's a bunch of AHA clubs in other metro areas. I know in Houston, that gang gets together quite a bit, I think on a monthly basis at least, to powwow and talk about what's going on in Mastermind. Those are great opportunities to build relationships with other eXp agents. So make sure that you're taking advantage of them. All right, so let's kind of go soup to nuts, if you will, with an open house. So before we talk about what we do to hold the house open, anything in particular you're telling your sellers in preparation for it? How do you, are they asking you, or are you asking them? And then what do you tell them about, holding the house open?
Absolutely. So I almost always tell them that we are going to be doing open houses in the weekends, so they're ready for it. It is also, for me, when I talk to them, I always tell them that it's a great way to get exposure. You never know, somebody will walk in and they like something, they want to go ahead and put in an offer. Why not? The maximum exposure that you can give to your home is what's going to help get it sold. It's all about the marketing, right? So yes, and I prepare them. They know that we're going to have open houses every weekend, and most of the time they're pretty open to it, unless of course they're living in it, and then they'll say, "Well, can you just do Saturdays?" And that's great. We have it set up right in the beginning.
So are you holding the homes open multiple days through a weekend, and are you also holding them open like a singular home multiple weekends?
100%. So literally every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, if possible.
I love that.
Yes.
All right. And so we get our sellers prepped, and so we're going to start. Where do we start? Are we doing like mass promotion here? How do we get the word out that we're going to hold this house open?
Absolutely. So I'll tell you, I do a lot of trainings on open houses, and so there's two fundamental mindsets that I talk about. Number one is that you are there not to sell the homes, but to build a pipeline, right? That's number one. That's the number one mindset shift that you need to have. The number two thing, which I talk about, is what I call my VAP formula, which is visibility, authority, and branding. These are, if you go in with these three things in your mind, you're going to shift the way you have conversations with people. Right? You just asked me a couple of minutes ago, how many times do you do open house for the same home? Every weekend, Saturday, Sunday, consistently, for as long as it takes. Now, what is that doing? It's building consistency, right? And the more you do it there, the more your branding is out there, the more visible you are. People in the neighborhood are going to see you. Eventually, they're going to start talking to you. Eventually, they're going to tell you, hey, I saw you here last weekend. Oh, she does this. She does open houses every weekend. So that consistency that we talk about in pretty much everything, also when you do open houses, you're able to see the results in several ways. So let's go back to the process. So I will tell you, my process is very simple and efficient. I like to use my time as efficiently as possible. So prior to the open house, I don't do very much marketing on social media. Here's the reason why, because yes, it's going to, even if I put it out on social media, the buyers that I'm trying to find are really not the ones that are on my social media, right? So sure, I can put it, but really it's a hit or miss. So instead, obviously we put it on the MLS. That's definitely there because the motivated buyers will actually pull out a list. Okay, what are the open houses happening this weekend? And that's very important. But the main thing is to, on the day of, to put out as many signs as you can, because that is the biggest visibility and branding part of this whole open house strategy, right? So if, for example, I'm doing an open house from 3 to 5, I will go at 12 o'clock and start putting out a ton of signs. And when I say ton,
let's say that again. If the
yes,
open house is at 3 o'clock, not at 2:59, are you putting out the signs? When are you doing it?
at possibly by 12 o'clock, it should be out. And tons, right? So when I say tons, like 25, 30, as many as the HOA if you're in a master plan neighborhood will allow. Put it at every intersection, right? Put it at everywhere that people are driving to get to the home. And the main thing about that is, again, visibility and branding, because the more familiar people see it, they keep seeing your signs every weekend, they're going to be like, oh, she's busy, she's doing, like, she's always doing something in real estate every weekend. I've had people, like young kids, will tell me, oh, I saw your sign somewhere. I'm like, yeah, that's me. So it's all about putting yourself out there, and this is subtle, gentle marketing.
Yeah, it's not that people are going to get lost looking for your open houses if
That's
you don't
correct.
have 30 to
They're
40
gonna find
signs.
me.
That's not what you're doing it for. And I like that it's a much more marketing based approach. We had Dwayne Richens and Jeremy Davis on last week, and they were talking about circle prospecting. Now, by the way, if you didn't listen to that, BAM, go listen to that, BAM. Those guys are amazing. I mean, really simple in their strategy, but really cool in their advice that they gave. But what's interesting is I don't think they shared it on the show, but when they do an open house, they simply put a sign on the front door of the open house that says, sorry, out talking to the neighbors. And they're out door knocking, right? That's their form of lead generation. It's circle prospecting. And that is their open house, by the way. They're not doing the whole open thing. They're going out just circle prospecting. You take much more of a marketing based approach, which is equally valid. It works very well for you. And one of the things too that we got to make sure that we're doing though is using branded signs, right? If you're using just the generic open house with the red arrow, that's not going to cut it. That's where you're banking on people being lost and needing the directionals, right?
Exactly. And it's a lost opportunity, right? I mean, you're spending 2-3 hours of your weekend out there, maximize it. And one of the ways to maximize it is to use the signs to market. So yes, absolutely. Don't use generic signs. Make sure you put your picture on it, because that is super important. The more they see you, the more they recognize you, the more trust they built with you, because they're already like, oh yeah, I've seen you somewhere.
Yeah. And you also talked about where you do open houses is important to you. Can you share a little bit more about what you meant by that?
Absolutely. So I'll tell you, in the beginning, when I started doing, in the beginning of my real estate career, when I started doing open houses, I would do them everywhere, right? Doesn't matter, whatever opportunity I'm getting, do it. And if that's where you are, go for it. Do it because it's going to give you so much confidence and it's going to give you so much more opportunity. It is fantastic. But the more important thing is to be intentional about where you do your open houses. So it's for me, when I'm training, I always tell people that find your top 2 or 3 areas that you want to focus on, right? Top 2 or 3 areas. And the other thing is price point. If you want to get to a certain price point in your business, that's where you start focusing. So intentionally pick the area that you want to do business in. And number 2, pick the price point that you want to sell homes at. Once you start doing that and you do it consistently, you'll see that obviously if you're holding a house open for $1 million home, the people that are coming in are the ones, the buyers, prospective buyers that are coming in are the ones that are looking for $1 million homes. If you're able to convert them, well, now you have a buyer who's looking for $1 million home, right? If you do it, and again, nothing against lower price point homes, but if you're doing it for a home that's 250, well, that's the buyers that you're getting. So if you want to elevate your business to higher price points, this is an amazing way to prospect those buyers.
And again, you don't have to have the listings in those neighborhoods. Just build the relationships with the listing agents in those neighborhoods.
Yes.
So, okay, can we quickly talk through the process of the open? Are we doing a sign-in sheet? And what's that relationship building process when they come in?
Absolutely. So, I'll tell you, for me, yes, I do sign-in sheets, but it's more of a conversation. A lot of times, I don't even get to the point of them signing in because I've spent 15 minutes with them talking that now we're on a first name basis. And yeah, obviously you're going to give me your phone number, right? So when people are walking in, the most important thing is to have a conversation with them, make them feel like they're important and demonstrate your value to them. To me, it's these people are walking in, they're motivated buyers, they're getting up in the middle of the heat, well, in Houston, and they're coming out of their cars and they're walking into this open house. They are motivated. Where else are you going to find these people, right? And when they're coming in, if you just tell them, hey, by the way, this home has 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms and whatever, they've already seen that on the MLS. I will almost never have that conversation about the house. But when I'm talking to them and I'm building a relationship with them based on where they are currently and what their needs are, very quickly, I will literally tell them that, hey, you know what, this house is not going to work for you, but I have something else that might work for you. So it's important to understand why they're there. What are they looking for? What is it that works for their family? And this is where your authority, the VAB formula, right? Visibility, authority, and branding. This is where your authority needs to shine. If you have done your homework, you know about the area because, again, remember, consistently you're doing open houses in the same area over and over again. So when you start doing it, you start learning about the area, even if you don't live there, right? So now you're becoming an authority. And of course, do your homework, figure out what's going on in the areas, the schools, the ratings, what is it that the residents like, what is it that they don't like, all of that stuff. You've got to do that homework. But this is the time when you're talking to them, you're able to share with them all of this stuff. A lot of times agents will ask me, well, what if I tell them everything? Why would they need me? No, when you tell them everything, they know that you know what you're talking about. This is where you're demonstrating that you are the authority. And if you don't work with me, you're missing out on it.
Well, and here's the thing. You can tell them 100% of what you know, they don't know that that's 100% of what you know.
That's
They
exactly
assume
right.
that that's only 10% of what you know.
Yeah.
One of the other things that you said that is really cool, especially in this now time that we're in our industry, about differentiating ourselves, especially to buyers. You talked about pocket listings. Now, obviously, we have eXp exclusives, our
Yep.
partnership with Zenlist, and if you've not checked that out, go and check out eXp exclusives. Right, those are pocket listings that our agents have put up on that platform that you have access to. But you take it a step further. You want to talk about how you go outside and find pocket listings as well?
Yes, absolutely. So this is the, first of all, the advantage of having a team, right? Because there's 30 other agents. This is the advantage of being an EXP because we have the exclusives. Use it, right? Once you start having conversations with people, with other agents, get with them and ask them, hey, what's coming up? What do you have that is coming up? And the other agents that is a listing agent wants his house sold, right? So they're going to tell you, hey, by the way, I don't want to tell you the address, but I have a home that has 4 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms down coming up. And yeah, I mean, if you have somebody, let me know. Now, this is information that you could use for your advantage when you are talking to motivated buyers. Because again, exactly, because when you are talking to them, you're able to tell them, hey, this is not working for you, but I know something that's coming up that might work for you. So a lot of people can say, hey, you know what, there's not as many eXp agents in my area. Well, let's see what's going on. I'm not kidding you. I have relationships with other agents in the area that I have messaged them. And I have said, hey, I have a buyer. Do you have this coming up? And or like generically, I'll ask them, hey, what do you have coming up in this area? Once you start, this is a relationship world that we live in. And once you start cultivating those relationships, people are open to giving you more information. So don't shy away from reaching out to other agents from other brokerages who are maybe in the same area and ask them, hey, I have buyers. Like, do you have anybody that's looking for this and this and this? Now, this is information that you have in your pocket when you're talking to these people, the buyers, when they walk into your open house.
Yeah, I love that. And then you and I talked, and afterwards you're sending video messages to these people who come through and sharing about the other properties and building that relationship further. Brilliant strategy in terms of getting out there, meeting people, differentiating yourself, building that relationship. I absolutely love that. All right. Well, hey, listen, thank you so much. We could spend hours and hours talking about this, but this has been great for a lot of agents out there who may not been doing open houses or not doing them consistently. I think what you said about consistency is absolutely the best point of this. Whatever lead generation strategy you're doing, do it consistently. So love having you on. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Smita. Back over to you, Tony, and Miss Noor.
Yes, I am back. Oh man, you let the cat out of the bag. Now they know Nora's coming. Fine. Nora Marzouk, she's going to be coming on, telling us all about what did we just talk about, right? I love the fact that we talked about that this is a networking business. This is an elbow to elbow business. We talked about in real life events. We talked about all those things that Bryon and Smita were just talking about. We're going to be talking about that same stuff at eXpCon. Nora Marzouk, how you doing?
I'm great, Tony. How are you?
I am outstanding. Thanks for asking. So tell us about what you got cooking.
57 days, Tony. That is how much time we have until eXpCon Miami. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I want to see Bryon there. I'm going to see you there. I'm going to see Smita there. I'm going to see everybody. Matt, Lisa, we're all going to be there.
Amazing. I want to see as many eXp agents as possible. So if you have not registered yet, scan this QR code and it'll take you right to our events page. But I am here today to talk about some very exciting announcements about eXpCon. First with the Explorer Pass. Now, for Explorer Passes in the past, we've done, if you choose an Explorer to come, they will get GA access. But this time we are doing it bigger and better than ever. So if you are a VIP attendee, your Explorer gets that VIP experience with you for no additional cost. So if you are looking to have someone join eXp and you want them to see what eXp is all about, why we're so amazing, how we bring a community together, you are able to do that. So a free registration. So it is essentially a 1-to-1 this year. So you just add on from your registration, you add on an explorer, you choose who you want to bring to this event, and they're going to have that same experience with you. So that is amazing. So we've never done this before. So we're super excited about this. It's brand new. But your agent will be able to have the same experience as you. So they can go into those VIP lunches, they can go into general session, they can have all those same experiences. And this is just so amazing, right? So we've never done this before. We want as many people to come and experience eXpCon as possible, and this is your way to do it.
That is incredible.
And then speaking of general session, we have some amazing keynote speakers that we just announced. Will Guidara and Jesse Itzler. These are amazing authors, entrepreneurs. If you're a fan of The Bear, Will Guidara is a co-producer. So these two gentlemen are going to be our keynote speakers for general sessions day 1 and 2. They are going to bring the energy, bring some amazing keynotes that are going to inspire you, that are going to really help you build and grow your business. And we are so excited. We're not going to tell you which day each of the keynotes are on. It'll be a surprise. But our general sessions are going to be absolutely incredible. We are doing things completely different this year. It will be an experience. And Will and Jesse are definitely going to bring down the house. So we really want everyone there at general session. We're super excited about our keynotes. But then in addition to our keynotes, we're also excited about our add-ons. So we are doing some amazing add-ons this year. Obviously, we have our 5K fun run and walk. This goes to support our charity Extend a Hand, which helps agents in need. It is on the 27th of the morning, I believe, but it is a 5K. You do not have to run. Tony, I am not a runner, but I am a walker. So I will be there walking this 5K. Tony, I hope I see you there as well. I don't know if you're a runner or a walker.
No comment. Listen, this is what I'll say, right, about this, because I know some people freak out, right? Focus on the fun part and not the run part. I'm going to be there, but I'm all about the fun, not the run. So
we call it
the
5K fun run / walk. So someone asked if they can.
I'm not about the walking either. I'm strictly about the fun part. That's it. Fun, done.
Fun. Okay, you're there for the 5K fun. But
yes, 5K fun. I like that.
5K fun. But all of the proceeds go to Extend a Hand. So that is the amazing part of this. So that is an add-on. Something else new that we're doing is add-on lunches, because we are at the Miami Beach Convention Center, which is a little bit away from a hotel. So we are offering our agents an opportunity to have those add-on lunches. So you're not running around looking for something to eat. So those are all done and added through your registration, but we are giving you as many options as possible to make your experience easy, really focusing on your business, really focusing on growing, networking, making those connections, because that's what eXpCon is all about. So that's what we're really focused on. And we want as many agents there as possible. We've got some amazing announcements coming up over the next few weeks. I will do a plug for the university. We are hosting over 100 different breakouts this year. That is more than we've ever done before. That is double the amount of breakouts. We've got different paths for all different levels of agents. This is your opportunity to build, learn, grow from the best of the best. And we are offering so much more. So we're going to be announcing a little bit more over the next few weeks about what that looks like. But again, if you have not registered, we have this QR code, expcon.exprealty.com. Register today. We are so excited to see so many of you there. And I'm just so excited. 57 days, Tony, we'll all be together again.
57 days and we'll all be together. I love it. And not only those folks, right? You're all the executives, all of the top folks at the company, all the mega producers, all the influencers, all the incredible people at eXp, Leadership and Win and Black Excellence Network and the Military Network. Like all these folks are all going to be in the same place at the same time. Luxury division and land. I mean, all this stuff. So we cannot wait to see you there. It's going to be an absolute treat. So thank you so much, Noor, for that. But that's not all, right? So coming up next, we have right after this call, actually, or right after this podcast, what we're going to have, if you want to go over to KGCI, right after this, we are going to have marketing, our what we call our Friday Focus, marketing your business. So today's Friday Focus is going to be all about that. We've got Holly McCory, we've got Casey Stires, we've got Marguerite, we've got Allie, we've got Shelby. My gosh, it is going to be absolutely incredible. from these fabulous women that are going to be teaching about how in the world do we navigate this new environment and still win market share, still grow your business, and focus on building your brand, right? Nuts and bolts, everything you need to know about that. You can scan that QR code, and then you'll be able to listen now. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on all of them, Spotify, you name it. We will be there. So that's going to be an incredible experience. I would highly, highly recommend you check that out because the industry's changing and we got to be down for it, right? And by the way, while you're scanning QR codes, while you're doing stuff, we want to hear from you. We need you to complete this survey for us. Just scan that QR code, or I think there'll probably be a link down there as well if you're on your phone that you can click on and rate this podcast today, right? We want to hear from you. We want to know, scale of 1 to 10. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you love? What did you hate? And while you're at it, while you're clicking buttons and stuff, there's all kinds of buttons you can click. There's a like button. There is the subscribe button. There is the follow button. There is the bell notification icon. There's subscribe, like all them buttons and stuff. Click all of it except for the thumbs down. Don't click that button. All the other ones, click them. Like click stuff, comment, do stuff, share. Those are all buttons. And your thumbs will get a workout if you start clicking all those buttons. So we do this not for us. Bryan's in here dropping Bryon bombs. I'm just getting along the best I can, right? But everybody else is bringing the smoke, bringing the fire. Smita, my gosh, everybody's been doing an incredible job. So let us know what you like, what you want to hear more of. You want to go deeper into open houses, we'll do that for you. All the content, by the way, we don't come up with this stuff in the Think Lab by ourselves. We go off of the feedback that you give us. We had 10 agents request something on open houses, so we do something on open houses. We have somebody request NAR updates, so then we do a thing on NAR updates, right? Whatever you ask for, you ask, we deliver. So that's incredible. Right now, we got our iConversations getting ready to kick off. Any minute now, we will have some of the best and brightest in the industry. If you're still around and you're able to sit down and sort of pay attention to the iConversations, or if you want to go on to our KGCI platform, whatever you want, we got you covered. But we'd love for you to hang out and check out our iConversations coming up right after this. That's it. Have an incredible, outstanding, and amazing long weekend. Happy Labor Day, everybody, and have an incredible weekend. We'll see you next time.